Good morning. Happy Monday. We got another week ahead of us here. A hot one, it sounds like. It's going to be quite warm this week, although not as bad as you guys out west. I've heard stuff in the hundreds out there, and our high is supposed to be like 92 or something on Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know, but it's going to be in the 80s and sunny and very dry for the next 10 days, which is okay. We need the heat to keep the crop progressing. We're not dry right now. 10 days from now of hot weather, yeah, we're going to start getting pretty dry. But overall, I think we're in pretty good shape. So we got some cleaning up to do at the seed warehouse today. I'm going to try and get everything organized and off the floor, and maybe we'll do a little power washing. I don't know. We'll see. Dad's doing some mowing. Phil's hauling wheat. And, yeah, it's kind of end of August. You find stuff to do that needs to get done, but you don't want to do kind of thing. That's what we're doing today. One thing that I don't mind doing that we were working on this morning here is working on some wheat sales. So it is the end of August. We're getting ready to plant wheat. We grow soft red winter wheat in our area that gets planted in the fall. So as soon as we start combining soybeans, we will start planting wheat. And it is a good opportunity to talk about AgriPro wheat. We have been using AgriPro wheat on our farm for a very long time at this point, and it has been outstanding performer for us. I had all AgriPro wheat this past summer, and we had far better wheat than we anticipated given the dry conditions that we had in May and June. Right when the wheat was pollinating and filling out the heads, we turned super dry, and well, our wheat still was pretty darn good. I went back and looked through our harvest records for the last 7 years, all the way back to 2018. And do you know what was our number one yielding wheat variety in every single one of those years, except one? AgriPro SY100. Since the very first year we've had it, that has been our number one yielding wheat overall across all our acres every year until this year. This year, a new number, AgriPro GP463 was our top yielding wheat. Says something. SY100 has been very good for us. It's a bit of a fuller season wheat, and the yield potential on it has been outstanding. The GP463 was new this year. I'm excited to try some more of that going forward in the next year and see if it's going to continue to outpace the best wheat that we have had for 5 years running. And go from there. The other variety that we plant a fair bit of still, even though it hasn't been the absolute best yielding, but it's SY547, which has been right there with this SY100, maybe just a bushel or two under it in most of those years, but it is an earlier maturing. It has better test weight and an excellent grain quality, and it allows me to get some double crop beans planted. And so I really like that variety as well. If you need some soft red winter wheat for this fall, find your local AgriPro wheat dealer and ask them about some of their high-yielding genetics. All right. We got some cleaning up to do. I do have this scheduled. I don't know when the truck's coming to pick up these empty kegs, but I do have the paperwork filled out, and that is scheduled. So hopefully sooner rather than later. Looks like we got a little, just organized. We need to put those pallets with the rest of those pallets and stack them up nice and neat. And that stuff's not too bad. Those boards over there we'll probably move and put over next to these other ones. You know, just organize stuff, and then we can sweep the floor out and get our power washer hooked up, wash stuff so we can clean up spots like this. Super riveting YouTube video, but that's what I am working on today, so that's what you're going to get. Brock's here. He's sweeping the floor for me. I'm moving some stuff out of the way, and, well, appears we had a mouse get an ear of corn. I don't know how it got that ear of corn there, but cob kernels with chunks eaten out of them. Although it appears to have gotten into the poison as well and is probably dead somewhere, or I already got it, or something. Or maybe that little spot right there is a dead mouse. I don't know. Either way, we're working on getting stuff cleaned up and trying to organize. So we're going to move these boards and put them over there with the other boards, and yeah. We're getting there. Alright, we're going to let Brock get started with the power washing. That stuff in the corner is going to have to sit there, so we'll go around it the best we can. We'll work out away from it, and then we'll start along that wall and work out to the center, and then out the door. I'm going to kind of move this stuff around once he gets that corner done. And yeah, we'll just keep working on this. I'm going to have to go get the squeegee. I don't have any drains in the main part of my barn here. I do in the lean-to, but not in here. And the floor is not sloped out. It is pretty level. A few minor pockets here and there that hold a little bit of water, but anyway, it doesn't drain real well. And the broom isn't cutting it. Brock's about half done with the floor. I'm working on getting this corner cleaned up, trying to move some stuff out of the way so that we can start washing over here. Probably not going to move the whole sign rack and stuff, but trying to move these pallets. I'll probably move that table. It's a lot easier when you can just pick stuff up with a forklift instead of having to take everything off it and move it by hand, so we'll just move it. I just got back from lunch, cleaning stuff up. I was coiling up the hose for my standalone pump, and that happened, and it got it all over me. No good. I'm gonna go change my clothes real quick because I don't want this all over, and we're washing the floor anyway, so we'll get it cleaned up here, but not good. Better. Hot and sticky today, though. It's gonna get worse this week. It's gonna be super muggy and super hot. It's not so bad working inside, especially with water. We're almost done here, or at least getting stuff moved out of the way. We can finish getting everything washed up. Pile of cardboard and stuff to dump in Dad's new burn chamber, whatever we want to call it. And Brock got my spill cleaned up, so that's good. Yeah. All right. Progress. It looks really good. I'm happy. This is super boring. It's okay. Brock's gonna keep working on that. I got a load of stuff to take back. There's a bag full of aluminum cans and some trash. Dump the cans at the farm, dump the trash in the woods. And then I have a meeting at 2 o'clock. It's 1:30 now on the computer. So I'm gonna go and do that. Let's hope to not lose all our stuff. Then we'll figure out what's going on from there. All right, we're moving on. Brock got our floor all cleaned up. We thought we'd better check in on this bin floor project. I don't see any pieces out here. I think Phil's got it all in except for maybe the flashing. Let's see. And back with the mower. Yeah. Got it in. Sweet. Whew, it is hot in here. There's all our big batteries. I was trying to run something the other day. I needed a Milwaukee battery and couldn't find any. That's why. So we've got these flashing pieces. These are actually old ones, I think, but they go on there. You got to bolt them in all the way around, and then they kind of cover up that gap around the outside. So that's got to get done yet. This looks like a new one. It takes 2 people because you got to have somebody push the bolts in and somebody to put the nuts on the inside. Got the splits and the seams all covered up. Looks good. Looks really good. Bunch of tools to clean up. I finished putting the flashing around the sumps there, and then put the power sweep in. So this has got a sweep auger that's run off of the unload. It attaches to this, and then that will automatically, sweep the bin out. Cool. Not bad. Got the floor cleaned up really nice. Got a little water to get off, so we're squeegeeing it out and start putting some of this stuff back after the floor dries off. I want to put cardboard down along the wall there like I had it for spill containment, so that when I spill seed treatment it gets on the cardboard and not my floor. But we'll let the floor dry up before we do that. We gotta get this water out from along the wall so we can put my table back over here that needs to be cleaned off. Yeah, we're doing okay here. Trying to clean up my sign rack here a little bit, organizing the cardboard, and got a pile of stuff we can get rid of. Yeah, I've got Brock fixing some field signs or just putting different riders on where they need to be. I should have them wash windows. That's what needs done. Look at those. Filthy. Anyway, gotta clean off this table, and I need to sort through that table. Other than that, we're just waiting for stuff to dry, getting stuff put back around where it needs to go, and I've got a few days yet before the field day, so we don't need to set up tables or do any of that kind of stuff yet. Just get everything ready, which we're getting closer. So we also threw some YouTube on there. I was watching a Mike Mitchell video, and then mine came on, so we're watching that apparently. All right, Brock went home. I sorted through that corner really well, and I started in on that table and kind of realized that, hey, I need I don't know. Just needed to put some stuff back, and I'm waiting for the floor to dry so that I can put the cardboard down, so I can put all of this stuff back where it needs to be, bring those things over where they need to be, and then we'll finish that. So I think we're gonna call it good enough for tonight. Brought my stuff back in from outside. I'm gonna pull that truck in, shut the doors up here, and then we're gonna go back down to the farm, and we're gonna see what Dad's doing, but we're probably gonna do some computer work. All right, wanted to take a few minutes and kind of show you what I've been working on the computer. I shouldn't be doing this today. I should be doing this Thursday when it's going to be too hot to be outside, but we're going to do it today because I don't have much else in this video. So I wanted to talk about what we're doing to get ready for next year already. It is August. Today is August 21st. It seems super early to be too worried about next year, but we've already done a fair bit of planning for next year, and we're still working on quite a bit more, including that seed buying decision. Not only is it the wheat that we need to get bought now, but corn and soybean purchases will be made within the next month. So it is time to really start hammering this stuff and figuring it out. So the first thing that we have to do is update my spreadsheet. So I made a whole new spreadsheet titled 2024 Border View Farms, and we went through and updated all of our field crops. So I changed the fields from what crop they were this year. Like this field here says soybeans. That one is corn right now. So next year we'll plant soybeans there. I made notes of where we're going to plant wheat. And so this is our best guess right now. This is still a little bit fluid. For the most part, we're on a straight rotation where anything that was planted to wheat this past year will get planted to corn next year. Anything that was planted to corn this year will get planted to soybeans next year. And if it is soybeans right now, it's either going to go to wheat or back to corn next year. I think we have one field that is an exception to that this year, that is a wheat stubble that we may go into with beans next year, mostly for rotational purposes of keeping our acre split relatively even. We tend to keep about the same number of acres of corn and soybeans, or as close as possible every year, and about the same number of acres of wheat every year. It's less than the corn and beans, but it's about the same number every year. And sometimes just the way that the fields rotate and things go, that number can get out of whack a little bit. And so it looks like if we don't do this field back to soybeans after wheat, we're going to be a little bit heavier on corn acres than soybean, and so we may do that. I would rather plant soybeans after wheat than plant soybeans back to soybeans, which is the other option there. So we'll see how that works out and what the plan is, but that is the tentative plan for right now. What we don't do and don't want to do is plant way more corn one year based on the expected price or the cost or something like that, and then way more soybeans another year or something because we think that there's more profit into that one crop. We like to stay fairly even-keeled and steady and not fluctuate things drastically. So the other thing that doing this spreadsheet does is let me put in a generic planting rate. I will go through and make up scripts much later in the winter, early spring, that'll come up with exact planting rates for those fields. But this gives me a pretty close estimate of how many units that I'm going to need so that I know a total. Helps me know how much seed do I need to buy, how many units of corn, how many units of beans, and try and lock all of that in. But you can see the list of fields there, and then eventually we'll put in the varieties that are going in each field here, and it'll calculate all that out. Another thing that we need to do fairly soon is go through here and I don't know why that's in there. Figure out where we're going to plant wheat in 25. Believe it or not, we're gonna go through there because I will need to know that before we place soybeans based on what maturity soybeans we're going to plant in those fields. I do know that every field. No, this is not. Okay, so the bottom ones here below the kind of break in this chart here is our fields down to Berkey. We kind of keep them separate on my spreadsheet just to make it easier to segregate them out. We have wheat going in there this fall. We will not have any wheat there in 25, but I can just about bet you that some of these fields here that are soybeans, those, not Berkey, will go to soybeans. So anyway, we'll figure that out later. That's not real critical right now, but I've pretty well got that side of it done, figuring out what crops are going to go where. The next thing that we need to do after we know our crop plan is to figure out what we need to do for fall fertilizer, our dry broadcast fertilizer. So this is a map that came from our crop consultant. This is actually the one field out here in the middle where we're going to do some tiling, where I've been helping Dad dig up the existing stuff. And we're going to put on some fertilizer out there. So this is what they call blend 6. It's 20% AMS with some potash, or mostly potash, 80% potash. So it's our potassium needs, and in this particular zone, we're going to put 180 pounds. In these two zones, we're going to put 230 pounds on. We have a map for this. These are wheat fields that are not getting chicken litter. Where we put chicken litter, we don't put this on. But anyway, you can see some of them are like this field here. It needs 300 pounds of that blend 6, but it also needs 100 pounds to the acre of MAP, which is 1152O. That's the phosphorus. And then you get a field like this one that's got quite a bit more variation in it. And so we send these maps on to our fertilizer supplier or company that's going to get them spread, and then they can get this done really any time this fall. So that kind of the next step in the planning process and has been completed, or at least my end of it. We're waiting for them to get it spread. Not really in a hurry, but that's where we're at with that. So another thing that we can do, and we can't do a lot of this yet, but we can do a little bit, is kind of start looking back on this year and see what worked and what didn't. What do we want to try again? What do we need to test again? What are we going to stop doing in the future? And we have wheat harvest data, right? We have all of our harvest data from our wheat crop, and so we can start analyzing some of the strip trials that we did and see, did this product make a difference or did it not? And so we're going to walk through one of them. I'm going to show you a yield map right now, and I'll see if you guys can pick anything out. So right here is one of our wheat fields, and let's see, does it tell me? This wheat, there was 85.5 acres in that field. It averaged 87 bushel. Now that's pretty darn good. We were really happy with that when we harvested it, fairly early wheat. This is the field where we have our double crop beans growing in it. It is also a field where I had a block of products that we applied, foliar feeds and growth regulators and that kind of stuff to try and really push our yields. Can you tell where I sprayed and where I didn't? Well, you might think you can. Over here it looks better, right? Let me show you another map, and let's see if this changes your mind. All right, so here's our map from this year. This map is that same field with 4 years of wheat harvest data merged together, right? So it's a composite map using all 4 years that we have wheat harvest data from that field. Now, amazingly, the average yield all 4 of those years, everything combined, is 88.7, so just slightly above what the whole field averaged this year, which means that there was a year or two in there that were really, really good wheat years. Now you can kind of see them side by side. So knowing what this map should show is if there is any background soil type variations that are impacting the yield every year. And we see a little bit show up, right? So you'll notice this spot over here that's more orange kind of correlates with this side over here that's more orange, and this dark green spot right in the middle definitely correlates with this one. And we have, a better area down here versus over here. It still sort of seems like this side of the field did better in general that we don't see quite such a variation in a split there. So it would lead you to believe that whatever we did over here made a difference. But also that, yes, the soil types, the contour of the ground does matter. You can see that stuff along the trees is always bad. So now we're going to pull up an application map, and we're going to compare that with this year's harvest map and see if we affected this or if something else is happening there. So this is the block of that field that we applied, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 different times we made a pass across that field, and we put added products in this block, but not here or the perimeter. Okay, 4 different times. That is 41.2 acres. It's not quite half, just about half. That block does not correlate with this map. Does not. We should have a strip along this side that was not as good, and this stuff in here, the break should be right in here, which we do see a line there, but we notice we have several of them in this yield map. I think those are actually sprayer tracks. They're passes that had sprayer tracks in them, where it matters. When you have sprayer tracks and you take out those 2 paths of wheat, it brings the yield down in that particular pass. So, so when we dig into this a little bit farther, and yes, this is just one application, but it's the same block. I can pull up 4 different maps that have the same block. So the data analysis is good. And we come over here to data analysis, and we look on the bottom. And I use the target rate map because it gives me a solid color versus an as applied, where then you got a whole bunch of different zones. That doesn't matter. It's did we apply the product, did we not? And so we have the 13 where we applied. Not target rate not available is the area of the field that did not get applied. And then we come over here, we see our acres, 41.8 versus 43.8, and we look at our yields. 89 where we did apply, 84 where we did not. Okay, that's 5 bushel. Is that worth it? Did that pay? 5 bushel. It's 5 bushel better, but is it because of this product, or is it the variation in the field and this side being a little bit better? That makes it a little harder to tell, right? So if we want to dig into this a little bit farther, we need to highlight some areas out. So instead of, whole field, let's just break this zone in half. Let's draw a box about like that. So now we've got partially treated, partially untreated, and let's see what the selected zone analysis says. Selected zone, so we're looking at 19.7 versus 19 acres treated. Selected zone, well, the treated was 85.8, the untreated was 86.4. That's not statistically different. That would lead me to believe that all of that stuff that we put on there did not pay. Did not pay, which is a real bummer because I really wanted that stuff to work. Now, if you've been following along, you know what company this is and the stuff that I've been using. I'm not going to call them out in this video because I do believe they have good products, and I think that the stuff we're using on corn is going to pay big time this year. Beans, I'm not sure. It's so hard to tell, but I would not be surprised to see a huge difference in the soybeans as well. However, on wheat, it did not pay, and in wheat, we spent roughly $45 an acre on that program. So even if we had had that 5 bushel increase that the initial data may tell us, 5 times, what's the price of wheat today? Let's figure that out. It's not good. Cash wheat right now today, $5.61. So we take 5 times 5.61. No, that's not right. 5 times 5.61 is $28 an acre. $28 an acre does not pay for a $45 an acre chemical program, fertilizer program. I can't do that again. That's not going to work. I can't do that. So, no. That's something that I learned from trials this year, that I set that up as best I could. I did everything I could to make that program pay. It did not. So I'll be looking elsewhere next year, maybe at a different company's foliar stuff, maybe just a different programs through this company, through different products, trying something different. I don't know. But I do know that I can't do that. We can't lose that kind of money. But that is why we did 40 acres and not 400 acres of it, right? It's got to prove itself before we use it. So I have a couple more of those that we may go through at some point. We're not going to do any more of them today. But yeah, we've got some of our wheat fields down to Berkey there. the orange ones that are harvested. We had some side-by-sides and stuff in, including this one. I'll show you the yield map on it, because gosh dang, it sure looks like something happened out there. I mean, look at that. I've never seen such a stark yield difference. I'm not 100% sure why that yield difference is there, but yeah, something made a difference. Anyway, thanks for watching today. Hope you enjoyed this one. Hit that like and subscribe button for me, would you please? I know I took a lot of time off in the last month and I wasn't here, but man, YouTube's really taking a step back on me. All my numbers have dwindled big time. So we got to keep pumping videos out. We got to get you guys excited to watch again. I got to get those likes. Need some more subscribers. Help me out. We're coming into harvest season. Everybody loves harvest videos. They're going to be really good. I got my Borderview Farm shirt on today. You should go get yourself one. Farmfocus.com. My sunglasses are in here. I need those. And yeah, check out the rest of our merch and stuff that we have there. I've been thinking about doing some updated stuff. Anybody got any t-shirt ideas, designs, something? I'm not a t-shirt designer. This is not my specialty, but I need a refresh there to get you guys excited again. So send me some ideas. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm not sure what's going on tomorrow. I know Tony, my sales rep, is coming up. We've got to talk about sales programs and stuff for Golden Harvest. And I need to spend some time on the road doing that stuff. But we'll try and find something to make a video about. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great night.